up, everybody? Welcome to Trailer Park, the movie review show that focuses on the trailers of the movies. I am your host, Richard Barlow, and we have some pretty exciting things to talk about today. We're going to be looking at the trailer for the movie Arkansas. We're going to be talking about what's going on in Hollywood right now and with films now that the quarantine has hit the States. And then we are going to be talking about the movie Honey Boy. So without further ado, let's just get right into it, and we're going to start with the trailer for Arkansas.
'Cause everything that glitters is not gold. Come on back with the Gatlins.
What a lot of people don't know about organized crime in the South is that it's not that organized.
What's with the cones?
Thought the randomness of it might throw off a cop.
I guess that's smart.
With everything going on in the world right now, a lot of movies are being delayed, and a lot of the big blockbusters that would be coming out and stealing all the spotlight, they're being pushed to another time. We'll talk more about that in the before the trailer segment, but really what I'm getting at right now is that it's giving some more independent films a time to shine. Movies that normally would kind of fade into the background against the huge summer blockbusters that are normally really being pushed right now have a chance to be seen, and this is one of them. This is one that, yes, it has a good cast, but it by no means looks like a big budget movie or a big blockbuster. It's more of a low budget indie film. It's not fully an indie film, but like it's more of a low budget is what I'm getting at. So I really like that's happening right now because, you know, we were kind of getting blockbuster after blockbuster, and people were complaining that there wasn't a lot of original movies coming out. Everything's an adaptation or a remake, reboot, and that, you know, filmmakers and storytellers aren't really getting their shot. And maybe right now this is the time for that, because we have trailers like Arkansas, and this, to me, looks really good, and it's definitely one that probably, if there weren't all these delays, you know, it probably wouldn't be one that I'd have a chance to talk about, because there would be something coming out soon that I would have to discuss. But now this is one of the only ones. There really weren't, when I was doing my regular trailer search for this episode, there weren't a lot of new trailers out there right now. So this one was one that now has the opportunity, and I really like that.
I'm near the bottom rung of an outfit run by a man I've never met before, a man named Frog.
I'm the boss. You may never refuse an order, and you may never quit.
Pat Bright, Park Ranger. I'm with Frog. I've been ordered to intervene. Do not socialize with the locals. Do not draw attention to yourself.
This is creepy.
Do you like creepy?
It looks like it has a stellar cast. You know, I always like to see comedians go serious. And not that, like, Vince Vaughn has done a lot of serious work. And I don't really consider him a comedian, but most people would probably know him from his comedy movies. And so he's kind of taking it looks like the villain, the bad guy role in this movie. And I'm really excited to see his dramatic turn as that. John Malkovich is in it. I really love him. The last few movies he's done have kind of been questionable, and I don't know why he's chosen them. You know, maybe he's got some bills to pay, so he's just been accepting contracts. I hope that that's not the case with this one, and it doesn't seem to be. This trailer really does look like it's going to be quite good. And then we have Liam Hemsworth. He's fine. He hasn't really done anything to impress me, but he's also never done anything to upset me that much either. So I am really excited to see this cast.
If you decide to run off, I will hunt you down and I'll kill you.
Am I gonna die?
Most likely.
Would either of you boys like to call me sir? You can if you want. I won't think it's corny.
We're gonna go traffic drugs across state lines, sir.
It looks like an interesting story. You know, I always like organized crime stories and seeing the inner workings of that. And, you know, when, you know, mobsters are kind of turning on each other. So the story itself is something that I personally am really into. I love crime dramas. And I do like the aspect of, you know, what is organized crime in the South? We always see it in like New York or in big cities, but what is it like in those smaller southern towns? So I'm really interested to see what comes out of that, because it really does seem, yes, the same in the way that it's still organized crime, it's still the mafia, but it is quite different the way things work and the way things are handled. So I think maybe in a time where like we've had mafia movies again and again and again, it's kind of getting to a point of what new things can come out of this. You know, maybe this is offering us that.
If you boys catch yourselves starting to complain about boredom, just remember, a bored criminal is a good criminal.
Is this an order from Frog? We've been thinking about streamlining.
You can't do that.
We do a whole bunch we're not supposed to do. Frog don't seem to mind.
It's better to have to look for something to do than have something to do look for you.
The only thing I think where this trailer maybe kind of slips up is setting the tone of the movie, or really telling us like really what genre this is. Because when I was watching the trailer, at first it seemed like it was going to be like a dark comedy, you know, primarily comedy, but of course, you know, dealing a bit with very dramatic things and still having those dramatic scenes. But then as the trailer went, it kind of seemed like, okay, maybe this is more just straight up a drama with some funny moments in it. And then by the end of the trailer, again, it kind of came across like a comedy. So, like, I don't think that's going to be a problem, because, like, the trailer still did work for me. You know, I like the humor and the drama, but I don't think it did a good enough job as a trailer that needs to tell us exactly the tone and what genre this movie is. They didn't do that. They kind of were giving mixed messages in this trailer. Maybe the whole movie is a mixed message and it's going to be kind of comedy, drama, kind of going back and forth rather than just being straight up a dark comedy or straight up a drama just with funny parts. So I'm interested to see what it is. Like I said, that wasn't something that upset me enough to make me not want to see the movie or just be too confused that I don't know what I'm going in to see. Like, obviously I know there's going to be funny parts in this. I just, as a trailer, I think they kind of faulted there.
You expecting somebody?
You know what's funny? You boys are here just hanging out. Seem a bit suspicious to you?
These two are supposed to be working for me. They're about the worst enemies I've ever had. I never asked for my life to become a great story, but that's what's happening here.
It's not going to end well for you.
So yeah, overall, I'm very excited to see this movie. I like that it's one, at the end it says it's coming to theaters, it's coming on demand, and it's coming to purchase digitally as well. So that it's what movies have to do right now. We can't be going to the theaters, so the fact that it's coming out on demand and to own digitally is a good move by the studio. And like I said, it's really time for movies like this to shine that might not otherwise have gotten the opportunity. So I'm excited for this movie. I'm very excited that movies like this are getting a time to shine. And yeah, hopefully it is as good as the trailer makes it seem.
If you think you're good enough to outdo a man, that's what you do.
Say thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, stick around. We have more Trailer Park to come right after this break. There are a lot of changes happening in the world right now with self-isolation and quarantines hitting the States and here as well. And it's really having an effect on the film industry and just movies in general. So to take a closer look at what's going on there, we have to go before the trailer. With everything happening in the world right now, people are going into self-isolation here in Canada, but it's even more so in the States where people are fully quarantining because the spread is more rapid there. And it's really having an effect on the entertainment industry and on Hollywood. A lot of movies, the releases have been delayed, and a lot of productions have been delayed or altogether suspended as well. And so just to name a few, just so you know how much of an impact this is having, some of the movie delays that we have: A Quiet Place 2 Mulan, The New Mutants, delayed again. I don't think that movie is just ever destined to come out. The New Mutants is just will be just delayed from now until the end of time. And we have No Time to Die, Peter Rabbit 2, Black Widow, Spiral, which I was really looking forward to, and Fast and the Furious 9. All those releases have been delayed. And productions as well have either been suspended, halted, delayed, just because of everything that's going on. So some of the productions that have been delayed, The Batman, Fantastic Beasts 3, The Matrix 4, Jurassic World Dominion, and the Uncharted movie, which is another one that I just don't think is destined to get made. The Uncharted movie is just having the worst luck all the time. They're losing directors, losing actors, getting delayed for every reason, and now this, it's just not looking good for them. So it is just a time when a lot of those movies that we were really excited for, a lot of the movies that I talked trailers or I talked about like how excited I am for their release, now they're not coming. You know, this summer blockbuster season, I don't think is going to be much of a summer blockbuster season, if the theaters are even open by that time again. So it is really sad as a movie lover that these things are getting delayed and that I'm not going to have a lot of the films that I was so amped up to see. They're not coming anytime soon. So it's disappointing. I, of course, definitely understand, and I'm glad that they did it and that they're taking the right steps and precautions, but it is just a bit of a bummer, when you're not allowed to go anywhere, when you're stuck inside and you have to watch movies, to know that these movies aren't coming is pretty upsetting. But maybe some of these movies, a lot of the movies, like I said last week on the show, are starting to come on demand and be available digitally. So if that proves to work, then maybe a lot of these will take the same route, and that would be great. Because like I said, we're stuck at home. Give us some good movies to watch. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens with that. Another thing that's coming out of this is a lot of movie theaters are closing down, as we know, and a lot of them are going to be struggling to reopen after this. I think a lot of businesses they're going a long time without making any money and any profits. Hopefully the landlords and stuff that own their buildings aren't still charging them, so they're at least maybe not losing that much money, but they're still going a long time without making money. But a good thing that has come out of this, movie theaters are shutting down, and that's really upsetting. But there's a higher demand, and drive-in movie theaters are becoming more of a thing again. You could stay self-isolated in your car and still go and have a big screen experience. So that excites me so much. I've always loved drive-in movie theaters. We sadly don't have one where I am. I wish we did, and it kind of bums me out. I've always thought about opening one in my area, and now would be the time, and I can't do it. I don't have that kind of money, but I really do like that they're becoming more of a thing, so maybe we'll see more opening up. If this continues on over the summer, maybe some will pop up and do really well, and I'm definitely excited for that. I love the drive-in theater. I think it has such a real, old-school, authentic movie lover feel to it, so if we see more of those, I am definitely on board with that. Don't change the channel. We still have the movie review to do right after this break. Okay, and now let's talk about the movie Honey Boy.
No!
So Honey Boy, for those of you who don't know, it was written by Shia LaBeouf, and it's an autobiography about his time growing up as a young actor when he was on the show Even Stevens, and kind of what was going on behind the scenes, everything to do with his dad. His dad was really abusive and really kind of messed him up, and we've all seen in the spotlight messed up Shia LaBeouf. He had a really hard time. He had a breakdown. He's been arrested. He's been to rehab. So we all saw that happening in the public's eye. So it was kind of nice to see this, what was happening behind the scenes when he was a kid and what led to this. So it was really interesting to see that.
A little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her.
What am I being arrested for? What am I being arrested for, huh? You think you're hot? Because you don't know how good I am at what I do.
This is an autobiography, but it's kind of like the names are changed in it. You know, the young boy in it, it's not Shia. His name is Otis. But it's still, they're still never hiding the fact that this is Shia LaBeouf's life, and this is his story, and this is what happened. I feel like maybe for legal reasons, that's why it couldn't actually be his name. And, you know, the show that he was working on had to be changed and stuff like that. So I think that is more the reason, because like I said, like they never once tried to trick you, you know, watching it. I never got the feeling that, like, you know, is this heavily exaggerated for drama's sake? It really did seem like Shia LaBeouf just being like, no, this is what happened. Especially because, you know, kind of the writing of this movie is in the movie. Part of the movie is the character Otis when he is grown up, when he's in rehab after getting arrested, when he's writing things down and decides to write the movie. And a lot of the movie is when he is a child, when he got his first acting gig, and kind of him becoming bigger and working with kind of his dad as, I don't know if they ever said, but I like his dad as his manager or something, which is the case a lot of times with child actors. And unfortunately, you hear a lot of times that the parents weren't that great. And in this, you really get to see that.
I see you. Concentrate real hard. Be a 12-year-old. Pie fight. Ugh.
It's not a pie fight.
Think it through. What's your mother got a job for?
Just in case.
In case what?
I don't
In case
know.
you fail. In case it don't work out. Yes, man. She's filling your head full of fear. I pump you full of strength. Because we're on a team, and I know you got what it takes. You're a star, and I know it. That's why I'm here.
So yeah, the story, I think, is very interesting to me, especially as someone who loved who loved Even Stevens growing up and loved Shia LaBeouf. So to see what was going on was really interesting to watch, and just like how hard it can be for a young actor and everything that they're going through. You know, like the industry itself is rough on a young actor. So then when you have an abusive father and everything, like you really understand why Shia LaBeouf broke and why so many child actors do. You know, it's always kind of the case, not always the case, but I feel like 9 times out of 10, if someone is a big star as a young child, as they grow up, something's going to happen. I mean, look at how many Disney child actors we have that have had some sort of breakdown or just kind of lost it in some way when they grew up. And this kind of shows it. I mean, this shows it was mostly his father. You know, it didn't really show the industry that much and any of the effects that the industry was having on him. It was all about his father and that side of it. So that, I think, if anything, would be my one critique of the movie, is I would like to see how the industry was being hard on him too. Maybe at that time, maybe Shia LaBeouf doesn't feel like the industry was hard. Maybe it is just all about his father. So that's fine. I just think I would have maybe have liked to seen a little bit more with the entertainment industry as a child that age.
I'm your cheerleader, honey boy.
I don't need to talk about my dad.
Good take, good take. You did it, you did it. Good job, everybody.
My dad's not the reason I drink. He's the reason I work.
Come here. Come here. Child light law!
The performances in this movie are spectacular. Especially, I mean, Shia LaBeouf, one, he's in it and he plays his own father. So like that I can respect, because I mean the performance was amazing. I find Shia LaBeouf's, his performances are always amazing. Like I said, I was a huge fan of him growing up. I'm still a huge fan. When he had his breakdown, I was worried that we wouldn't get any more Shia LaBeouf work. So I'm glad that he's kind of making a comeback now and getting more into things. They are more kind of independent films, but that's fine. And I think kind of it's where he belongs. and I love to see him, and I hope he keeps making things. But anyway, he played his father in the movie, and that's got to be tough. It's something he wrote. It's very personal to him, and he's playing his own father. A part of me wonders, maybe if it was kind of like he didn't want anyone else to play it. If he was like, no, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it right. But yeah, just like the emotional toll I think that would take. I really respect that, and the performance was incredible. The other two performances that I really want to commend in this movie are the kid who played young Shia and Lucas Hedges who played Shia as a grown-up. Just because, like, the performances alone are astonishing and so powerful, and they really hit all the right beats, and it feels real and raw and really emotional. But also, like, they're doing a great Shia LaBeouf. Like, Lucas Hedges, everything he said, if you closed your eyes, just like the inflection in his voice, his mannerisms, everything was so Shia LaBeouf. So he really, like, nailed being Shia without being Shia, because it was Otis, it wasn't Shia. But, like, that really impressed me, how he really got Shia LaBeouf down. And same thing with the young actor. He had a lot of he almost kind of looked like Shia LaBeouf at that age, but also, like, it was just so well cast for these two actors portraying Shia that you really believed that they were Shia, which is another thing that, like, this movie never tries to trick you into being like, this was written by Shia LaBeouf, but, like, it's not really what he went through. The casting, the everything about it is clear that this is a very true story, which just makes it all the more compelling.
You have good instincts.
I have good instincts?
Yeah,
I got
have
rodeo
good
clown
instincts.
instincts, so I could never make it in Hollywood.
You could if you started when I did.
How do you think it feels to have my son paying me? How do you think that feels?
I think, like I said, when I talk about Rocket Man or other, like, autobiography films, or not even autobiography, just biopics in general, if this wasn't a true story, if this wasn't someone that you knew and cared about, would it be a good movie? And a lot of times it wouldn't be. A lot of times, if you took out the realism of it, then the story itself would kind of be like, yeah, it's interesting, but, like, I don't know if it's a story worth telling. This one, I think, is. Like, if you took the Shia LaBeouf out of this is still a great movie with a great story. And, like most biopics, the ending is a little... It just kind of ends. But Shia LaBeouf's story isn't over yet, so how could a movie about him have a complete ending? So, normally where I don't like endings that are left too open, in biopics, they're fine. So yeah, just everything about this movie was absolutely amazing. Being a Shia LaBeouf fan, if you're one, then definitely check it out, because I think you'll love it and appreciate it even more. But even if you're not, even if you don't even know who Shia LaBeouf is, I think this is still a movie worth checking out, because it's just a good story about a young boy growing up with an abusive father, and him being in the entertainment industry and everything. It's still an amazing story with incredible performances. So yeah, this movie I highly recommend. You can watch it at home now. It's on Google Play, and probably on many other digital services. So definitely, if you get the chance, check out Honey Boy.
You wouldn't be here if I didn't pay you.
And that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you'll be able to check out some of the movies that I talked about on demand right inside your own home. Stay in, stay safe, watch movies. There's nothing better to do than watch movies when you're stuck inside. So let me know, what are you watching? How are you spending the self-isolation period? Are you binge watching your favorite movies? What are you doing? You can let me know on social media, on Twitter at Trailer Barlow, or on Facebook and Instagram at Trailer Park Movie Reviews. Or you can, of course, always email me, Richard at trailerparkmoviereviews.com. But until next time, I'll see you around, everybody. Bye.